Back to the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. I'm Cheryl Garlock with Colorado Front Range Properties, your host. My guest today is Rene Rawlings with Cornerstone Home Lending. Welcome to the show, Rene.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for having me on.
I am so glad that you're here. We've got a lot of information to share with folks, and always never enough time to do it, but I have to ask you quickly, what did you do for the New Year's?
Well, I had knee surgery, so I pretty much propped up the leg and laid low.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, for New Year's Eve, I don't usually go out very often, but we went out to the Sunbird restaurant, and it was absolutely outstanding. Wonderful thing. So if you guys are thinking about treating your wives or your girlfriends to a really special time on Valentine's Day, because you know that's our next big holiday that's coming up there, that's the place to go. Go up there and say hello to Tom White, the general manager. Tell him Cheryl sent you from the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. Go visit the Sunbird restaurant. They've got some great stuff, and I cannot stress how beautiful the views are from up there. Have you ever been there, Rene?
I have not, but I've heard it's spectacular.
It is. It's spectacular and wonderful. Watch out for the rattlesnakes.
Good to know.
They had rattlesnakes down there in that area a long time ago there, but anyway, they're all fenced off. How do you fence off a rattlesnake? I don't know. They don't have them anymore, so it's not an issue there, but the food is absolutely out of this world, so check that out. Hey, you guys, you know, I got a buyer that I'm working with here, and I need your help with there. So if you guys can help me out, that would be great. This gal needs a single-family home somewhere off that Powers corridor there. She's looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1 or 2 car garage, somewhere in that $170,000 to $200,000 price range. So if you're thinking about selling your home, or you know somebody who is thinking about selling their home, please give me a call, 719-321-7600, because I've got somebody who might just fit that need as a buyer there. Now, Rene, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit here today about another kind of buyer that's we get often, and we've had some experience with the self-employed. So sometimes buying a home for the self-employed is a little bit different, a little bit trickier than that is for somebody who's gainfully employed, so to speak. I mean, you need different things, different kinds of things there. So let's talk a little bit about why it might be harder for a self-employed individual to qualify for a loan. I know you've got lots of experience in this.
Well, as you know, self-employed, they report their income to the government. But the great thing about being self-employed is that you get great tax write-offs.
Yeah.
The problem is that if you write off too much, you're taking away the income that actually qualifies you.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know, this is the one time I always say it's always wonderful to be self-employed, such as myself, and I love it. But the one time it's not good is when I need to go get a loan. So I have to kind of do a little pre-planning, if you will, because don't you guys usually need about 2 years tax returns for the self-employed, or from anybody pretty much these days?
That's exactly right. 2 years tax returns to show the history of the income is steady.
Right. So if you're self-employed here, they're going to look at the bottom adjusted gross income on the 1040, I think is what it is.
In a nutshell, yes.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Well, that's what we're all about on the show, is just a nutshell. You know, you got to call us to get the rest of the shell or whatever. But anyway, so they're going to look at that number, and if you've already had, you know, a year where, you know, you're not reporting on your personal tax return a good enough number to qualify for there, you know, then that's going to be a problem for you. So you need to do a little bit of planning. And they can also get a little bit of pre-planning by counseling with you, can't they, Rene?
Oh, absolutely. Right. That's what I'm here for. That's what my job is.
All right, so let me tell you how you find out, Rene. I'm going to make this really easy. Just go to our website, coloradospringsbesthomes.com, and click on the extras tab at the top there, and you'll go ahead and find all of her contact information there. So be sure to go ahead and do that there, to go ahead and get a hold of her. Give me a call and I'll get you connected to her directly at 719-321-7600. Let's talk, Rene, a little bit about some of the information that the self-employed borrower needs to provide you.
They have to provide me 2 years tax returns.
Okay. What else might they need?
Well, depending on what type of business they have. If it's personal, there's a Schedule C, then it's just personal tax returns.
Right.
But if they have a corporation,
right,
or they have a partnership,
right,
then I'm going to have the business tax returns as well.
Okay.
We've got to make sure that the money, you know, is there in the company and able to pay them personally.
Right. Now, you know, that's an interesting thought, because we get, especially, you know, small companies and small self-employed individuals, they'll sometimes say, oh, well, I'm doing really, really great. My company's really making a lot of money here, but I'm not paying myself anything. Right. That doesn't work too well, does it?
It doesn't work when you need to get a mortgage, no.
Right. So sometimes, some people need to go ahead and be making sure that they're paying themselves a salary. So there's a way of looking at it. If you're paying yourself a salary, that's a little bit easier than somebody who's not being paid a salary but just taking money from the business. Is that right?
There's always a rule. There's a rule called pay yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
When you pay yourself first, you're going to have the money that you need set aside, whether it's to pay taxes, whether it's to make sure that you have enough money for yourself. The pay yourself rule.
Right, right. Well, and that's really important there, because I got to tell you, because Rene has actually done some refis for myself, and I can tell you the one thing: there is nobody who works harder. And one of the neat things I really like about what you did, especially for me, was you got the underwriter, that's the person who makes the approval on the loans, to look at all of my financials and everything ahead of time to figure out how we would structure the loan to get the loan approved. Because not all lenders are alike. And of course, neither are all realtors, right?
Right.
So you really have to find those people that will go to the nth degree, so to speak. And I can guarantee you one thing: if Rene can get me qualified, let me tell you what, she can get you qualified. I mean, and if she can't, let me tell you what, she will tell you what you need to be able to do in order to get qualified, and how soon and how long the process is going to take. I cannot say enough good things about Rene and her ability. In fact, Rene, you and I just helped somebody else not too long ago here, who actually was turned down by somebody else, but you were able to get them fully approved. And what it really was a way of, it was two things. One, it was a way of looking at the numbers and how to piece together the strategy. Wasn't that right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then for the other part of it, a huge element, was the dedication of the professionals these people had, meaning you and me.
Yes.
So, we really went the extra mile. In fact, Marilyn and Carrie, they were so sweet. They wrote such a wonderful little testimonial of these services here. And they ended up telling me that had you given up on us, because a lot of people would in situations like this, they wouldn't be walking on cloud nine right now, because they wouldn't be planning on closing on their new home. And they did just close. It was their Christmas present to themselves. Wasn't that great?
It was awesome.
Yeah, we helped them a little bit. So she, Marilyn said that she was continually amazed by the level of care that both you and I dedicated to them, to successfully bringing them from being a renter to a home ownership position here. So it was really, really, really great there. And speaking of renting, I got to tell you something. Sometimes it has its place, but a lot of times it doesn't. Just remember this: you can't rent your way to success. So to succeed, you need to own. Hey, stay tuned for more from the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. Get your pen and paper ready, because we've got some properties to share with you, and we'll be right back to have that for you in just a minute.